Hello students, I am Laxman Singh Rawat, PGT Chemistry at CIS Dasua. Students, I hope you are enjoying this method of teaching learning that CIS Dasua has come up in this hours of crisis. CIS Dasua's e-learning is helping students to study at their home so that they do not lag behind due to this lockdown. We will continue with our chapter, The Structure of Atom. Today, we shall be discussing the wave nature of electromagnetic radiations and the characteristic of wave motions. Let us take a quick recap of the previous topic which we had discussed. Let us discuss the drawbacks of Rutherford model. Rutherford model of an atom is often called the planetary model. However, there is difference between the two. It is because classical mechanics can be applied to the solar system, which can calculate precisely the planetary orbits. By analogy, we can say that the electron should move around the nucleus in well defined orbits. However, when a body is moving in an orbit, it undergoes acceleration, even if it is moving with constant speed due to changing direction. Because the direction constantly changes, so even if it is moving with constant speed, it is undergoing an acceleration. So, an electron which is charged, unlike the planets which are not charged, is under acceleration. Planet also undergo acceleration like electrons, but planets are not charged like the electrons. So because of this, there is difference between the two, and here lies the crux, or because of which we have the drawback in the Rutherford model. According to the Maxwell theory of electromagnetic radiation, a charged particle, when accelerated, should emit electromagnetic radiation. Therefore, an electron in an orbit will emit radiation and lose energy continuously. Thus, the orbit will continue to shrink and will take up the spiral path. By calculation, it can be understood that it should take only 10 inverse 8 of a second for an electron to spiral into the nucleus. But this does not happen. The atoms are quite stable. So, the Rutherford model could not explain the stability of an atom. Now, we may ask question, if the motion of an electron in an orbit is leading to the instability of an atom, then why not consider the electron to be stationary around the nucleus? If we suppose that, then the electrostatic attraction between the dense nucleus and the electrons would pull the electron toward the nucleus to form a miniature version of the Thomson's model of atom, which was also unable to explain many of the experimental facts. Another serious drawback to the Rutherford model is that it says nothing about the distribution of electron around the nucleus and the energy of these electrons, whether they've got the same energy or they have got different energies. It explains nothing about that. So these were the two serious drawbacks to the Rutherford model. First, electron revolving around the nucleus, okay, and not losing energy. Second is not explaining the distribution of electron around the nucleus and also its energy, how the energy of electrons are distributed. Before we start with the Bohr's model of an atom, let us discuss two important developments that led to the Bohr's model of atom. The interaction of radiation with matter provide immense information regarding the structure of atoms and molecules, and Niels Bohr utilized these results to improve upon the model proposed by Rutherford. The two developments played an important role in the formulation of Bohr's model of atom. These were the dual character of electromagnetic radiations, which meant that radiation possesses both wave-like as well as the particle-like properties. And second one was the experimental results regarding the atomic spectra that could only be explained considering the quantized energy levels in atom. Let us first discuss about the wave nature of electromagnetic radiation. It was James Maxwell who gave a comprehensive explanation about the interaction between the charged bodies and the behavior of electrical and magnetic field on macroscopic level. He suggested that when electrically charged particle moves under an acceleration, alternating electrical and magnetic field are produced and transmitted. These fields are transmitted in the form of waves called the electromagnetic waves or the electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic spectrum is in fact the arrangement of the electromagnetic radiations on the basis of either decreasing wavelength or increasing frequency. Now, different kind of units are used to represent the electromagnetic radiations. These radiations are characterized by the properties, namely frequency, wavelength, wave number, etc. We will be discussing about this in our next lecture. Now let us start with today's topic. Before we start today's topic, please remember that the electromagnetic waves have got two components, the electric and the magnetic field components. And these components have the same wavelength, frequency, speed, and amplitude, but they vibrate in two mutually perpendicular planes. That is, the plane of vibration of the electric field and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular to one another. Also remember that in vacuum, all type of electromagnetic radiations, regardless of wavelength or frequency, they travel at the same speed, that is 3.0 into 10 power 8 meter per second, or 2.997925 into 10 power 8 meters per second, to be more precise. And this is the speed of light and is given the symbol c. Let us discuss the characteristic of wave motion. First, we'll discuss wavelength. Now, what is this wavelength? The distance between the two nearest trough or crest is called the wavelength, or the distance traveled by a wave in one complete cycle is wavelength. So the distance between successive crest or successive trough is the wavelength. In the diagram, in the figure which we have given here, you must have seen that the waves is in two direction, one in the positive direction and another in the negative direction. So the mean point is called the node, and the wave in the upper direction than this one is positive direction, and lower than this one is the negative direction. So starting from mean and reaching the mean again after moving through the negative direction, complete positive direction, then negative direction, and then node again, that makes one complete cycle. So the distance traveled in this one complete cycle is the wavelength. So lambda, or the wavelength, is distance between two consecutive crests, or this can be considered as the distance between two consecutive troughs, or it is equal to 2 into the distance of two consecutive nodes. The wave has two phases with two different algebraic sign, the positive and negative. Upper is normally taken as the positive, lower is normally taken as the negative, separated by a zero amplitude regions called the nodes. The mean portion, the mean line at the center is called the node line. Frequency, denoted by nu, it is defined as the number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. The SI unit of frequency is Hertz, denoted by Hz. Also, it is expressed in cycle per second. 1 cycle per second is equal to 1 Hertz. Now, we have got two wave trains here. The upper one, which has shorter wavelength, has higher frequency, whereas the lower wave train, which have got longer wavelength, has low frequency. If we see the distance of the two waves here, the distance is same. Let us suppose this distance is covered in 1 second. So the high frequency wave train, it has 12 waves passing through a point in 1 second, and the low frequency wave has 4 wave train passing through a point in 1 second. So more the number of waves complete cycle passing through a point in 1 second, higher will be the frequency. Lower number of complete wave trains passing through a point in 1 second will have lower frequency. Now, wavelength is the distance traveled and frequency is cycle per second. So the product of this one is equal to the distance traveled in 1 second. That is, nu into lambda is equal to the velocity, or the frequency nu equal to c upon lambda. This is how we can find out the frequency. The velocity, it is defined as the distance covered by wave in 1 second, denoted by c. All electromagnetic waves travel with the same velocity, as we have already discussed, and the velocity is 3.0 into 10 power 8 meter per second. That is the speed of light. So nu into lambda equals to c, and that should be equal to 3.0 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Now, since all the electromagnetic radiations they are traveling with the same speed, thus a wave of higher frequency will have shorter wavelength while a wave of lower frequency will have a longer wavelength, because nu into lambda is constant. So if nu is longer, lambda has to be smaller, or if lambda has to be longer, then nu has to be smaller. Wave number nu bar. It is defined as the number of wavelengths per unit length. So in 1 unit length, whatever the number of waves are, that is the wave number. Its unit are reciprocal of wavelength unit, that is meter inverse. However, commonly we use centimeter inverse also, which is not the SI unit. So nu bar is equal to 1 upon lambda. Next characteristic is the amplitude. It is the height of the crest or depth of the trough of a wave and is denoted by A. So it is the maximum displacement from the mean position in any direction, either positive or negative direction. It determines the intensity of radiation. The intensity is proportional to the amplitude square. The node is the point of zero amplitude. So the mean position is basically the node position where the amplitude is 0. Next is your time period. The time taken by the wave to complete one cycle or one vibration is called the time period. So T equals to 1 upon nu, that is 1 upon frequency, that will give us the time period. The electromagnetic spectrum is the arrangement of electromagnetic radiation on the basis of decreasing frequency or increasing wavelength. In the given figure here, we have the electromagnetic this one wavelength moving from left to right. The frequency is decreasing, whereas the wavelength is increasing as we move from left to right. So with the decrease of frequency, the energy is also decreasing. That is, as we move toward the right, the energy is decreasing. As we move toward the left, the energy is increasing. More is the frequency, more is the energy. Here some comparisons are given of the wavelength or frequency. You will notice that the visible range is very small part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is in the range of 380 nanometer to around 740 nanometer. The highest frequency wavelength is the cosmic ray, which is generated somewhere in the cosmos or the universe, whereas the low frequency wavelength are the radio waves. Let us solve a question based on the above concepts. The Vivid Bharati station of All India Radio Delhi broadcasts on a frequency of 1368 kHz. Calculate the wavelength of the radiation emitted by transmitter and which part of the electromagnetic spectrum does it belong to. Here the frequency is given we have to find out wavelength. They are related through the speed of light. Since lambda equal to c upon nu, substituting the given values here, we have c equals to 3.0 into 10 power 8 meter per second, nu equals to 1368 kilohertz. So when we solve this one, we get lambda equals to 219.3 meters. The wavelength is quite large, so it must be in the radio wave region. Let us see another problem. We have to calculate the wave number and frequency of a yellow radiation having wavelength of 5800 Armstrong. Now, how to calculate the wave number? Since lambda equals to 5800 Armstrong, this is equal to 5800 into 10 inverse 8 centimeter. In term of meter, it will be 5800 into 10 inverse 10 meter. So putting this in nu bar equal to 1 upon lambda, we get nu bar equals to 1 upon 5800 into 10 inverse 10 meter, and that works out to 1.724 into 10 power 6 meter inverse, and in term of centimeter inverse it is 1.724 into 10 power 4 centimeter inverse. Now calculation of the frequency. Nu equals to c upon lambda. Putting the value of c and frequency, wavelength here, we have c equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, and the wavelength is lambda equals to 5800 into 10 power minus 10 meter. When we solve this, we get the frequency as 5.172 into 10 power 14 second inverse, or 5.172 into 10 power 14 hertz. This is all we have for today. In our next lesson, we will be discussing further in these topics, and we will discuss the quantum theory also.